mention also just alternative and private education loans. Just briefly, these are loans of last resort. If your student owes a balance at the school, maybe they owe $2,000 and they go into a financial aid office, they would probably be given a list of these loans. They'd say, these are all the companies we've done business with, pick one. The rates, the terms, the fees of these loans all vary. Sometimes the rates are competitive, but there usually is no interest rate cap on these loans. They would need a creditworthy cosigner, so as a parent, you probably would be asked to do that. Just know what you're signing up for. They're already going to borrow that $27,000 in the Stafford program, and then they get one of these loans as well. This is where they're going to get into trouble. They're not going to be able to make those payments. So loans of last resort, they're there if you need them, but borrow with caution. And again, this is the order you want to take the loans in. You want to take the Perkins loans first, then the Stafford, then the Plus, then the alternative loans. These are packaging examples. So this is low-cost school, medium-cost school, high-cost school. Low-cost school, these are going to be state institutions. So IUP, Clarion, Slippery Rock, California, Edinburgh. These schools are $17,000 for tuition fees room and board for 1 year. Let's just say you get a little Pell Grant, you get some state grant, you get your loan. You still owe the school about $7,000. But when you look at the actual cost of the school, you add back in the loan because the student's going to pay that back. So this school actually costs this particular student about $12,500. Medium cost school, these are state-related schools. Pitt, Penn State, Temple are about $27,000 for tuition fees room and board for 1 year. Same student, maybe they get a little more loan money, maybe some work study. You add back in the work study because that's not going to come off the bill. Add back in the loan, it's about $22,500 in this example for that student to go to school. High cost school, these are private institutions. $30,000 all the way up past $50,000. You want to look at the merit money in these schools. So some schools have a calculation, a certain board score, a certain GPA, and they automatically qualify for $8,000 per year, for example. Or maybe there's merit money that they give to the student, based on particular scholarships that they've applied for, or maybe there's a scholarship for athletics, or maybe there's a scholarship for an instrument. That's all merit money. You can negotiate with private schools. So I tell people, if you're going to apply to private school, apply to two. If you get $10,000 from this school and $8,000 from this school, and you really wanted to go to this school, take the award letter from the other school. Ask them, it's really going to come down to cost. They're going to give you a little bit more money, so is there anything you can do for me? They might give you some more money, and they might even match it. They just work at a private school, you just had to ask the question, and we did it all the time. So definitely negotiate with them. Don't necessarily take their first offer at face value. Some other ways to pay, if you have 529 plans, you can certainly use those. You can contact the Department of Treasury about that. Schools have tuition payment plans, so maybe you had a car payment and you don't have a car payment anymore, so you have $300 per month. You can pay $300 over the course of 10 months. Sometimes they have a sign-up fee for that, but then that's $3,000 the student might not have to borrow. So think about that. Usually you get that information when you get your award letter. They'll give you that information as well. Home equity loans, I mentioned those, but plus is 7.9%. If you're going to borrow for your student, and you're planning to do that anyway, definitely take a look at home equity loans. I know that the rates are still pretty good. You're going to file that 1314 FAFSA form based on 2012 income and circumstances. If anything changes this year, most commonly a parent loses a job, you need to call the school, you need to call FIA. There's probably additional paperwork that you need to complete. You might have to provide documentation from unemployment and those kinds of things. They might ask you to project what the rest of 2013 looks like, but there might be additional financial aid available for your student. So if anything changes, just keep in the back of your mind that you need to make some phone calls. Some final thoughts. There's a website called educationplanner.org. It's one of FIA's websites, and there are links on this website to Department of Labor and Statistics. So you can do a career search, for example, and you can pull up what the current median wages are for any job in the country, and then also you can compare it to Pennsylvania. So if you have a student that wants to be an engineer, or you have a student that wants to be a nurse, you can look up what could they potentially earn coming out of college, and that can help you when you actually look at how much debt they're going to incur. Are they going to be able to make those payments? So I just want to mention that website to you. And then again, stress, have students apply for scholarships. If they haven't talked to the guidance counselors here, have them do that. Like I said, it might be a little bit of an effort, might have to write some essays and things, but 500 here, 1,000 there, it's all going to add up and be to their benefit. Just be aware of anyone who charges you money for this process. I mentioned FAFSA.com at the beginning, but if somebody says, if you give me $50, I guarantee your student will get 3 scholarships, don't give them money, they cannot guarantee that. Additionally, telephone scams, we've awarded your student an additional grant, give us your bank account information, we put that right in there for you. That doesn't happen. Everything goes directly to the school. So your bank account is not in the equation. Hang up on these people. Student loan debt is approaching $1 trillion, outpacing credit card debt last year. Very significant. That's why I'm really urging you to think about it. Before you even borrow a penny, just think about that. These are loan repayment examples. So you can see that the amount per month goes up pretty quickly. The lower amounts, just the students kind of borrowing what they need. Higher amounts, the students that qualify for that additional unsub money and take it. Maybe they borrow alternative loans, maybe they go to grad school, professional school. But these are going to be really nice home payments. And they're going to be making really nice home payments living in your really nice home. So, you know, just really think about that. Graduate on time. If it's a 4-year degree, get them in and out in 4 years. If it's a 2-year degree, in and out in 2. There are 2+2 strategies at community colleges. There are 3+2 master's programs. Students can commute. We have a school within about an hour's distance. Students can commute. I know no student wants to hear that. Everybody wants to live in the dorms. But if you did commute for 2 years, you could save a significant amount of money. I mentioned state school, $17,000 tuition fees for the board. It's $8,800 for tuition and fees at a state school. You save $8,200 by not living on campus. That's significant. You did it for just 2 years, $16,000, and then for the 3rd year, they can live on campus. So think about that stuff. Buy used books. They can rent textbooks now. They don't actually have to buy them. Meal plans, they're going to sign you up for the maximum meal plan. Are they going to eat all of those meals in the cafeteria every single week? Or can you sign up for the lesser meal plan, put a little money on their flex account, and then they can go to the coffee shops or where they go with their friends when they're not actually in the cafeteria. Beware that 5-year plan. That 5th year is going to cost 20 to 25% more because tuition and fees go up about 4 to 5% per year on average. Some financial aid will run out after 4 years. You get 8 semesters of state grant, and that's it. You get 4 years of Pittsburgh Promise, and that's it. So if they have to go for that 5th year, how are you going to pay for it? They're probably going to have to borrow it. Determine who's going to pay for what. You can decide all this stuff up front. So books. Books are not included in the bill in the summertime. They're going to need probably $500 to $800 per semester. Who's going to pay for that? They're going to get a job this summer, and then that money's going to go for books. Grandma going to give you money for books. You're going to use your graduation money for books. You can decide that stuff up front. Give yourself some low-cost alternatives. Apply to every school that they want to. Apply to state school too. Apply to a community college. Just in case you can't make the numbers work, you have some alternatives and some backup plans. Some resources. These are going to be in the TAN booklet that you have. FAFSA.org, that's the state grant website. So if you leave here and you don't complete your state grant form, or if there's technical problems and you can't get it from the actual FAFSA confirmation page, FAFSA.org is where that state grant form is located. You go to the account access, you have an account access bookmark that was up here. That's where you actually will find it if you miss that link. Educationplanner.org I mentioned, that's that. You can do some career searches and college searches out there. You can deal with it.com is debt management information. There's budgeting information out there for students. MyFedLoan.org is loan repayment information. The FIA toll-free number, that's the number that brings directly to Harrisburg. So if we've asked you for additional information and you're not sure, or if you have questions about the state grant form or the technology is not working, that's who you're going to call for those questions. The Federal Student Aid Information Center, that's the federal processor. So hopefully we will not have any problems, technical problems today, but if you leave here and you're completing your FAFSA form, you run into problems, technical problems, or you have questions about the form, questions about your PIN number, that's who you're going to call for that. FAFSA.gov is the website we're going to use. The federalstudentaid.edu.gov, lots and lots of general financial aid information, lots more in depth than I went into today. If you pull that up right before bed, I guarantee you will go fast asleep. Very, very boring. Studentloans.gov, that is the website for the student loan. So pull that up, take a look at that. Repayment calculators out there, lots and lots of good information about student loans.